everybody, and welcome to the P.G.M Show. Yes, I have another special guest. Well, everybody's special, of course, but welcome to the daytime talk show, PGM. I'm your host, Peter Gordon McKinnon, and welcome, one and all. We get to sit down with a guy who's really collects this Transformers, you could say, and he's probably, transforming his life by transforming, and that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I don't know. I'm just babbling. Anyway, let's get this guy on. And let's get this party started. But no, anyway, let's just roll. Let's just roll this first story. Here's what we do. Yes, and I'm going to get this party started again. I say that it's the afternoon, beautiful day here in New Zealand, but you don't have to know about that. Probably a beautiful night in where Andrew is. And yes, spoiler alert, yes, Ultimate Wolf. And he does his Transformer things, and we'll probably discuss a lot more than that. Let's get him on. Let's say hello to Andrew and welcome, Andrew.
Hi.
Yeah, there we go. I'm always late to this thing. I'm always late to this thing. I don't know what I'm doing. There goes. Anyway, thank you for actually joining me and Andrew on the P.G.M Show. And really, thanks for joining us, Andrew. A pleasure to have you on the YouTube land. Just how did you get started collecting Transformers?
Because it was like 2015. It was the Bayverse, the live action films that came out in 2017. We saw that one, the first one in theaters. Then I got addicted to the line Transformers.
Did you grow up with watching Transformers?
Yes. Well, the movie started into like the first movie came out. Well, for the live action that came out in 2007. So I grew up with that.
Because I would find it very, very difficult to actually transform these things. I mean, how do you find it? Do you find it really easy to transform these action figures? Because they are very intricate, aren't they?
Yeah, they are really intricate, depending on the figure, because some are easy and some are hard to transform.
It would take me ages and hours to actually, and probably days, to actually transform them. But it takes you what does it take you to actually transform these?
Depending on the character, I can get it within a few minutes or longer. Because some of them are involved. You have to like flip, untab panels again, and do it all over again.
What do you think about the nostalgic cartoon of Transformers? Do you get into that, or have you got into that?
Yes, I've seen that because that's where we also got a bunch of more characters from the Japanese continuity.
Right.
But yeah, the nostalgic are good because we're getting more updated designs of those characters in the modern figures.
Because most collectors that I've talked to is about the nostalgic feels to it. Is that true for you as well?
Not really, but I do have a few of the G1 reissues that have been released.
Right. Okay. So, and how long have you been collecting? In a sense, do you just collect Transformers? Or do you collect anything else?
I collect a few other stuff, but mostly Transformers.
Okay. All right. So that intrigues you.
Yeah.
Transformers. So, and of course, we're talking about the movies. What with the new Transformer movies, do you think the action figures are going to get more intricate, more involved?
Yes. Yes, because we're getting updated characters of those versions that we haven't got from like the 1980s that we last saw those characters for some of them.
I know. Uh, okay, so I mean, you're a big gamer too, aren't you? You're a big,
Yes.
huge gamer. So you spend hours upon hours gaming and hanging around and stuff like that. So, what would you class your YouTube channel as to be?
Well, with gaming and
Yeah,
reviews and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Okay. When did you start? When did you start your YouTube channel?
I believe it was like 2018, 2019.
Yeah. Okay. So you've been going for a wee while now.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, why did you start your YouTube channel?
because so that way I can share my own perspective of the game and then share it with other collectors. So like if they have a question, then I can like answer in the live review instead of recorded.
Okay. So I mean, I know you've had Salacious on there,
Yeah,
right?
I had Salacious Rum and a few
Um,
others.
right. If you guys, so that they can actually ask you questions on Transformers and stuff like that.
Yeah, like if they don't know the history of a certain character, I can tell
Mm.
them about that character's history.
Okay. So tell me the bit of history then on the Transformers and how you got to your situation, which is a good situation on YouTube.
Well, the Transformers has been out for what 39 years now. The next year will be what 40 years. They've been out since the 1980s. Because like depending on the character Optimus Prime, he's the Autobot leader of the Transformers from G1. Granted, we had other leaders too. We had Rodimus Prime, Starsaber from TF Victory, Jinrai. We had Diatlas, even Fortress Maximus was one of the commanders. But if you're talking about a specific character, they're all different personalities. Because Prime, they would fight for all sentient beings. Autobots, they would fight the Decepticons. Prime and Megatron have been going at it for a little long time now, even in the movies, fighting just for one side to win. The Autobots versus the Decepticons. Because Prime, he usually has his iconic Iron Blaster, and depending on his version, he'll have an axe or a sword as his melee weapon, and he transforms into the same like type of truck. Just a little bit different designs for the movies.
And I know that sorry, gaps there. Um, and you have you talk about them on your YouTube channel, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you have out and you transform them and you talk about them, right? So
Yeah.
so you, so, I mean, you again, it's probably a stupid question, but anyway, you must get an enjoyment out of that, right? So
Yeah, I do. It's different because like no other YouTubers do it the way I do it. They just do the review. They talk about like what they like, dislike. But for mine, like I go into the history of the character, and then or if I have them, I'll show the other versions of the character that have been released. So I mean, like you can see the evolution, how it started, and how it's going.
I mean, you do that on stream, right? You
Yes,
don't
on stream.
pre-record it, just stream. You're a
Yeah,
streaming channel, right? I mean,
yeah.
with everything, so that must kind of cut out the middleman, being the
Hmm.
editor. So that must be a freeing sense. So of just streaming, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, uh, because a majority of us stream, but we also I'm not a very good reviewer, but I like to edit my you know I don't think I could actually stream and then talk about it. I'll probably go off topic. So that's where you probably have an advantage, right, out of some other people.
Yeah, because like I'm free pretty much most of the day, so I can stream pretty much whenever I want and for how long I want.
Yeah. So, uh, being also the games. I mean, we've talked quite a lot about the quite a lot about the Last of Us, right? So,
Yes.
uh, which is one of I think the most uh, you could I was going to say somber stories. You could say sad stories. You could say brutal stories. Very well told. Um, uh, uh, how do you? Was that your first run through, or your second or third run through of that film?
That would have been my second one. I actually played the remastered that was on the PS4. That was back in 2019. I played that one.
I mean, the remastered one looks well. The up to date version looks beautiful, doesn't it? With the
Yeah, it
graphics.
is. All the graphics are improved. Everything. It's the same story. It's just rebuilt from the ground up. It's like some game companies, if they release a new version, they'll just take everything that they did and the first one, just put it in the new one. But for this Naughty Dog, they actually like rebuilt the game from scratch again, just with all the dialogue is the same.
I mean, the softness of the faces and the surroundings were just. I mean, it kind of blew me away. Really. I mean, that I'm chomping at the bit, Andrew, to actually play this remastered, remade,
Yeah.
because with the softer and the realism of the faces with the graphics,
Hmm.
that encapsulates me more to play it. Did it with you?
Yeah, you could like see the detail a lot better for the characters.
I mean, have you played the second one?
No, I haven't played the second one yet.
Right, should play it. It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
I'll probably play it before the show comes out or after the show, so that way there's no
Um,
because there's
I-
changes from the show.
I've watched The Last of Us on HBO, now called Max. What did you think about that? Have you
It
seen
was
it?
yes, I have seen it. Me and my mother actually watched it together.
Oh,
She didn't
right.
know anything about the story because then it was different than what you usually see. And then even my dad, he hasn't known nothing about The Last of Us. It was new to him too. And then he liked the story. They liked it.
I mean, with these storylines going, being brutal and being very sad in a way, right? With the first one, I think the second one probably proves more that um, the the games or the gaming world has probably changed because of Naughty Dog. Would you say?
Yeah, it has been because if you've seen what they did with their Uncharted games, that's also
Mhm.
really good. And then those Uncharted games are much better than the movie because they're much more detailed than we got the remastered for those games. Those are really good.
Don't get me started on the Uncharted film. um, I'm sorry to say this, that some bits I did like, but not too many. Other bits I just did not like. I'm sorry, it wasn't. I'm biased. I'm biased when it comes to Uncharted because it's one of my all-time favorite games, adventure series. And the movie, I don't think, for me, this is my opinion, Andrew, and everybody out there, my opinion, it just didn't work. It really just didn't work. Even Tom Holland was subject to not like it very much. Um, but I don't know what your thoughts are on that, on the Uncharted film, the games, Andrew.
The movie was good. The games were much better, but I did like how they had the actor who played him in the games actually made the cameo in that one scene. So that was nice to
Yeah,
see.
that's the bit I liked was
Yeah,
Nolan North coming in and cameoing in a
right.
deck chair. So that was brilliant. So I like that very much. Uh, I just did not. I just did not feel it just gelled well. I think it could have been so much better, like the Last of Us series. It could have had. I think it could have had a lot more tie-ins with the game, the Uncharted film, because it was going to be a franchise, and the franchise just did not work. Because they haven't done another one, have they? Thanks, Rolando. Go and check out Ultimate Wolf. Yes, he does action reviews streaming wise for Transformers, and he does gaming, live stream gaming from. You're doing the Jedi Fallen Order, aren't you?
Correct, and then it will be Jedi Survivor stars the sequel to that when I finish it.
How are you finding Jedi Fallen Order?
It's a really good game. I played that in 2019 when it
Okay, so
first
you
came out. It's a really good game. It's
right.
just updated for the PS5 like The Last of Us was.
Okay,
The game.
right. Do you play it physical media or do you go through digital?
Sometimes both because I do have the normal PS5, the one
Right.
with the disc slot.
Yeah. It makes a whole lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With the game industry being again, I'm going back to graphics, but also the acting as well. I think it's getting majorly better for storylines. With the new Jedi Survivor, it's more. I think you could probably say it's very more glossy, in a sense of Star Wars. It's with the graphics and acting, it's better. Would you say that? Would you say
Yeah, I've seen the clips of it, not the full game, because I don't want spoil the whole game. Then I'm gonna play it. So.
I mean, the look of it looks spectacular.
Yeah, it does.
This story is a little bit more involved, of course, because it's a second story. So I'm looking to the future here. Also, I'm looking to the future here with the Last of Us Part 3. And Naughty Dog, if you're watching, please, Part 3.
Yes, or give us the update on that multiplayer game from the Last of Us universe.
Yeah. I think that Survivor should go into the Part 3 as well. Because it's almost. Do you think it's almost canon?
Yeah, it's almost canon to the Star Wars universe because a bunch of the stuff you saw in the Obi-Wan show was in the was in the game.
I mean, it's dare I say, Kathleen Kennedy did say something about it. So about Cal Kestis, in a hint, you could say, in a way, so that Cal Kestis may come into fruition for one of the series or a film. I don't know. So he's hoping. So you started your show in 2019 or 2018.
Yes.
What influenced you? What prompted you to actually start a YouTube channel?
Share my own personal experience with the figure. Say if someone says that the figure is bad, and then there's a review, you can actually see how good it is, the details, everything, and then I can have a different experience on that figure, and then they had a bad one. Experience for that figure.
And getting people on your show is a major factor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good factor. So, I mean, you've had an artist, Sin, and you've had your friends on the show. Uh, do you find that uh, good in a way?
Yes,
Oh,
it's good in ways so you can like hear their own experiences
right. Okay.
with the video
And
if
their
they don't.
opinions as well, and their opinions on it.
Yes.
So yeah. Um, uh, uh, it's I think it's one of these shows that you combine it with history and you combine it with friends' opinions and just being, yourself on it, isn't it?
Hmm.
So um, and bringing your animals into it. So your dog.
Yeah.
Uh, so do you? Forgive me if this is personal. Do you work, Andrew?
Not at the moment. I'm
Oh,
looking for one.
okay. Sorry, I had to ask that because you do have quite a lot. I mean, like me, because I'm unemployed. You have a lot of time on your hands to actually venture into this YouTube world, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So that must be a must for this kind of thing. So, where do you want to go with your channel? Do you want to kind of stay as you are, or do you want to branch out a wee bit more onto other
Probably
things?
stay as I am for right now, then maybe branch out eventually.
What do you want to do if you want to branch out a lot more? Where do you want to
I
go?
could, well, I could do some like Overwatch reviews or other stuff like that, or go back into other lines that I didn't really collect before.
Work, uh, work. He's a college graduate. Are you a college graduate?
Yes, I graduated last year from college
Okay, so what did you graduate in?
with theater arts.
Oh, theater arts.
Hmm.
Okay, so as an actor or as an
Actor.
artist? Actor. Okay, same here. I'm a bit of I'm an actor, sort of. Have you done any roles? Have you done any big roles?
Well, not big ones, just mostly small for college plays.
Okay, so all right. Where are you based in America then?
I'm on the West Coast.
On the West Coast. So do you get many acting roles out there?
I'm looking around. I'm still taking classes.
Oh, you're still taking classes. So
Hmm.
in TV movies, do you want to jump onto TV movies?
I don't know, maybe both. We'll see what
All
works
right.
out.
They have a big industry out there where you are on the West Coast.
Yeah, well, I'm not too far from Hollywood.
Oh, of course. Okay, awesome. So, um, wow, that's well. Next time a Transformer movie comes out, you can actually go and audition, right? So, um, I'm sure they do them on set, right?
Yeah,
They've got sets and stuff like that. So, wow, I didn't. Okay, um, is that just acting? Because you said theater and stuff like that. Does that incorporate art as well? Would you want to just do acting, or do you want to do behind the scenes as well?
I can do acting. I have done a class behind the scenes
Right.
at college. So.
Right. So I mean, I was a little bit better. I was a little bit better on camera sometimes. Not today. um, uh, and then behind the camera, I've done a film course, bloody hard. But the theater would be just acting, right? It'd be just getting to do lines and hitting your marks, right?
Yeah,
Right. So, tell me, how many plays have you been in?
a few. I know I did one in middle school for a play opening night. That was a one night play. I did three in college.
So is that do you want to extend that? Of course, I'm going over old ground here with my questions, but do you want to go extend that to
Yeah, I
theatre?
can.
So,
Like for the middle school play, it was just a normal play, but where it was a family of three, then they were homeless because it was Christmas night. And then there was the mother, the sister, and then I was the brother, the son in the story. And then so it was like Christmas Day. So then like one of my lines was, I got a Nintendo Switch because we're like homeless and it's Christmas night for that one. And that for that
it's
story.
fun though, right? It's hugely fun. I
Yeah.
mean, when you're on stage, or I've done a whole lot of TV and movie extra work, and it's so much fun because you
Hmm.
meet so many people. So in LA, I mean, uh, it, it is hard to get into, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a roundabout question. Everybody else saying that it's fun, but it's hard to get into. So I don't know where I was going with that question, because it's hard to get into even here in New Zealand. Being an actor, it's not a it's not a job uh, where you know, when you're about not you're not an A-lister, B-lister, C, D, E, F, G, H, G, H. You're way down the alphabet, right? It's quite hard to get into. Would you agree with that, Andrew?
Yeah, it could kind of be hard because like if you don't know what you're doing or you don't get selected for the role
Yeah,
you audition for.
it's not what you know; it's who you know. Heard that phrase?
Yeah.
It's it's about networking. Have you got an agent?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. Because agents would help, do help getting you jobs anywhere, right? So, would you want to be doing acting just in America, or would you want to, if you did branch out, would you want to go anywhere else in the world to actually?
That would be a good question.
Yeah, quit. Not question, and I don't know.
Well, if I did that, then I would have to learn those languages too. So then I would have to learn those other
Well, I
languages.
mean, for instance, I mean, would you come over here and do a Lord of the Rings, or would you go to UK and do the Lord of the Rings? So, um, would you be one of these actors who would be versatile and just hop to different places that did speak English well? So, because I know I would love that. I would love that, but um, uh, but I don't know. I don't know. You're a graduate. That's fantastic. How many years did you actually do your acting and theatre?
Pretty much all through the college, like I mentioned, I was in a few plays too in there
Right.
when I was in
So,
college.
was that your major?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Wow. That's awesome. So, um, growing up, did you want to always want to be an actor when you
Yeah.
were a kid? Uh, growing up, were you playing with toys? Were you playing with action figures?
It was mostly just games because I didn't like get into Transformers really until the 2007 movie came out.
Okay, so it was just oh, so you were a child of the um, gaming world,
Yeah,
right?
the 2000s.
Okay, so what was your favorite game in the 2000s?
Well, I like played many different games. I know like I played the Halo 2 and a bunch of other stuff and one of the original Ratchet and Clank games.
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, Ratchet and Clank was pretty big in those days, right? Right.
Yeah.
So, um, same with Sonic. Would you say Sonic as well? Hedgehog,
Yeah,
was it?
Sonic was big and then
And Mario, would you want to, did you play Mario and those games as well? So
Yeah, I did play Mario when they had a Nintendo Switch.
right, okay, um, that's fantastic. Um, uh, do you, outside of Transformers, right? Do you
Mhm.
have any other interests? Right.
Some of the Marvel stuff, the MCU stuff.
Okay. So do you, again? I'm probably going over old ground. You don't collect those, right? It's just predominantly Transformers.
Yes, Transformers, but I did collect some Overwatch stuff
Okay.
and other stuff.
What is Overwatch? What tell us what is what is
Characters from a video game.
right. So, because they've got action figures, haven't they?
Yeah, they do.
I've seen it. I've seen it in our stores here in New Zealand. It's um, but they seem to have been disappeared though. So uh, uh, would you think that that game got overshadowed by some other big games?
Yeah, it could have been. Well, I do know they released like Overwatch 2 like this year or last year. So,
Right. Okay. Um, yeah, it's. I think it probably got overshadowed by Fortnite, didn't it?
yeah.
So that's my recollection. So Fortnite was a little bit bigger than kind of quarter of the market with action figures as well.
Hmm.
Um, um, okay. What do you what do you feel that you want to get out of um, yeah, I'm going to cut to commercial break here. Sorry. We'll be right back. And enjoy the two commies. No liver on topic of your and listen to the rest of the and myself, the P.G.M on the two commies. Come gather around in the chat. Enjoy. Nerd Talk with JJ and P.G.M. And we're back. That's a little bit of the shows coming up with Salacious and myself on Mondays. That's tomorrow, actually, for me. And JJ and myself as we do our monthly show on just talking about films. So stay tuned for that. We talk anything under the sun. Talking to Andrew from America. Just found out that he's a graduate from theatre and probably film. I suggest, I don't know, I'm probably guessing. And we're talking about his love of Transformers. I mean, uh, and, um, and in film, really. I mean, to be quite honest with you, that you said that you could say Transformers transformed your thoughts on collecting Transformers, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Um, uh, the fascination of robots. What's the fascination with robots with you, Andrew?
There's so many different types. As there's Beast Wars, there's animals ones, or you have the more modern ones which transform into vehicles. There's so many different ones you could choose from, and they're different.
I mean, did you watch the Beast Wars?
Yes, I have seen the original Beast Wars show.
Um, pretty zany, right? It looks
Yeah.
really zany. It looks pretty. Sorry, when I growing up watching it, it looked pretty good. But when I watched a couple of clips, I thought, God, this looks gross. So, um, yeah, it's you have going back to the show. You have a very unique show, right? Would you call it a teaching show and a history show?
Kind of, because
No?
like I'm going into the character's history
The looks
and
of it,
showing that. Yeah,
how to actually transform a
yes.
very intricate transformer.
Hmm.
Um, the size of the transformer, because there are huge transformers out there,
Yeah,
right?
they're just tie-ins that I do have. They're massive.
What was it, the Omicron or something? The Omnicron, the big huge. Did you buy that one? The big.
Unicron, no, I never bought them. That's like $1,000 plus for the US.
Would you have any room for it?
No, I would have to make room, but I do have a super small Unicron on my shelf.
Uh, they've got so many now, right?
Yeah,
So many.
there's so many.
So, do you collect all the brands, or just collect one specific brand?
Mostly all of them. It just there's also kid-friendly stuff from the new like Earthrise or Spark One, and there's other lines that are more kid-friendly. I don't really get those ones.
I mean, is what's the price? What's the price over there for Transformers nowadays?
Well, prices do keep increasing sometimes. They'll keep increasing. Like for a like core class, that's like $10. A deluxe would be around 20. Voyager would be like around 30. Leader would be 50. A commander was like 80, and then a Titan is like 200.
It's it's it, it's a, I mean, we get them up here, but there's astonishing amount of money. It's crazy money over here. I mean, I do not see too many Transformers over here, but I mean, is the shelves stocked with Transformers over there?
It yeah, it just depends on when you go and stuff, or when they last restocked.
It's, do you go out toy hunting, or do you put it on? Do you buy online?
Sometimes it's a both.
What's easier for you to?
Probably, well, I do like hunting in person because that way, like, if it's open box, and then I can like actually see if it's like missing any accessories in the package or if the paint's good or not. Online, I can't do that.
Has Transformers gone to windowless boxes?
Yes, they have been for
Okay,
the
so
whole
that's
legacy line.
okay. So that's a little bit more of a bugbear, right? Troublesome because you can't spot the
Yeah, because like for example, like you'll see pictures on Facebook or Instagram of people popping heads off Transformers in
right.
stores. So then when you go
Right.
look at it, their heads are popped off, or people will swap them out with other figures.
It can be a worry. People stealing.
Yeah,
So, um, uh, so, uh, is your do you live alone or do you live with your parents? And
with
do you
my parents.
okay? And do you have a room that
Yes.
you've got for all your Transformers? And
Well, two. The den, which is right here, which has most of them, and then I have more in my in the other room.
okay, so you've got room to display.
Yeah, I have everything out of boxes. There's nothing in boxes since I moved here.
Okay. Um, that must be a bonus to have a big enough area because
Yeah,
it's all about room, though, isn't it? For some
yeah.
collectors, it's all about room. It's all about where do we stick these. If I buy this big, huge transformer, or, where do I stick it? Right. So it's not a problem with you, or is it a problem?
It's not a problem right now. Granted, I did buy shelves, so I put a bunch of them up on shelves to help out.
Do you put them in action poses, or you just pop?
Yes, I put them in action poses.
Okay. Do you do photography with them?
No, well, I just do that for like the thumbnails of the reviews, and because
Oh,
I'll
okay.
have them posed for the
Right.
review for like the
Yeah.
thumbnail.
Okay, that's cool. So, um, would you want to do photo photography, action figure poses? So,
Yeah, I could get into that.
yeah, so you can probably pop it on your YouTube channel or something like that, and while you're talking about it, you can stick them up. I don't know. You know.
Hmm.
It's your channel. Sorry, it's your channel. So you can do what you
You're
want.
good.
Yeah. It's. Do you think it? Do you think this hobby collecting action figures uh, uh, is crazy in a way because of the
It can get crazy expensive with these exclusive ones.
and crazy because do you buy it on impulse? Because I sometimes usually buy on impulse or just buy it.
Depends on the character if I really like want that character or not.
Okay. Um, and the movie, I guess as well, right? So
If I also have space for them too, that also depends if I have space for them. If not, then I have to get more shelves up.
so it's like I mean, granted, Michael Bay's probably done a majority of of the Transformer movies. I guess there's a lot more to actually make as
Yeah.
Transformers to collect.
Hmm.
I mean, uh, how many of those movie action figures have you collected over the
I
years?
have a full list, well, 3 shelves in the other room that's full of them.
And Bumblebee movie.
That's awesome. I have the Bumblebee over there too, and the Rise of the Beast shelf too.
Oh, Rise of the Beast shelf. So have they already been out?
Yes, for the figures, most of the Studio Series ones, like I know Scourge, Battle Trap have released them with the Freezer one, and then we also do have Bumblebee. We have the Cheater and the Air Razor, and we do have the Core Class RC
Okay.
from the Studio Series. The rest we haven't gotten yet from the Studio Series.
What did you think? What did you think about Mark Wahlberg being in a Transformer movie?
It was different because the first 3 films we got Shia LaBeouf for each three, and then once you see him in them, he's mostly just yelling Bumblebee, really just during a bunch of the times. While Mark Wahlberg, he actually picked up one of the Transformers guns in one of the movies and helped Optimus take and help the Autobots fight the Decepticons.
It's, um, it's a stark contrast, though, to actually have Shia LaBeouf and then Mark Wahlberg, right? It made the movies look look different, didn't it?
Yeah, it did because Shia LaBeouf did the first 3, and then for Age of Extinction, the last night, that's when Mark Wahlberg took the role.
I mean, and now I think Haley Steinfeld, I think, did the better one, the Bumblebee
Yeah,
movie.
she was the better one. She only did the Bumblebee movie, while it's Anthony Ramos and Dominica Fishbacker are the Humans for the Rise of the Beast one.
I think the franchise is probably thankful that movie was a major success and it got
Yeah.
back to being a storytelling of Transformers, better than Bay movies. The
Yeah.
Bay movies just got incredibly well over the top to be, so to even have a story. So, I do commend Michael Bay for actually inviting the voice of Leonard Nimoy.
Yes, the voice Sentinel Prime.
That was a brilliant
Yeah, that was a
decision.
brilliant choice.
Yeah, so I don't know how he talked him into it.
Yeah, that would have been interesting to see because that was before he died when he did the role.
Yes, yeah. But I commend him for that. But
Yeah, but he did do good things like the dog you see in ROTF and Dark of the Moon. That's actually his dog in the film.
okay, all right,
And then
all
I
right,
do know he didn't. He just wanted to do like the first three movies, and he wanted to stop at the before Age of Extinction last night happened.
all
But
right,
Paramount begged him to do the last two movies. He did he eventually did do Age of Extinction, and that made $1 billion box office. So then he went to do the last night, but like before shooting the last night, his dog had passed away. So right
all right,
before he started filming.
all right. Okay. Must have been really attached to his dog.
Yeah,
So,
and his dog was actually named Bone Crusher.
all right, okay. He used to actually be an actor.
Yeah,
Michael Bay. Um, little tidbit there. But no, I mean, you do actually know your Transformer lore, don't you? I mean,
yeah,
even Luke. So, um, brilliant, really. I mean, uh, um, from the comic book movie to the movies, it really, I think it accentuated everybody's collecting,
hmm
right? So through the lines, I mean, I do like the simplicity of one line in particular. I can't think of it, but having saw Megatron, a really simplistic Megatron figure. Uh, um, it wasn't intricate at all. Do you get into those lines? I know we talked about it, but do you get into those simpler lines? Simpler being just not all these joints and stuff like that.
Not really. I get more into the more involved stuff.
Right. The intricacies, like we've discussed
Yeah,
before. Right. So the more jigsaw puzzle kind of things.
yeah,
So um, that uh, that baffle the minds. So, I would have to have a major science degree to actually transform in and out of their beasts or their machines. But they're very impressive, right?
yeah. They are.
The what do you think? Just speculate. What do you think it goes into their design?
Well, if it's the movie, they're trying to get it as much accurate as possible for the Studio Series line. So they'll get those figures as close as possible as they can to the movies, and in scale, kind of in scale to how they were. You see them on the screen.
And
Well,
their
the
joints and stuff like that, and the movability.
yeah, the posability and stuff. Make sure everything works. There's sometimes clearance issues. Loose joints. It just depends on your quality control.
I mean, would you want to go into their factories to actually have a look and see how they do it? You know,
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how they do it.
mm. um, because it would be so. Um, I don't know who actually does the time-consuming thing, right? But I suppose it's just not. I suppose it's just all in the artwork and then just the engineering. and then they probably hand it off to the factories to actually just mass produce them, right? So
Yeah.
I suppose that's how it works, I suppose, but that's just a rough idea. Um, yeah, so okay, the love of the films Transformers you have, and the love of the Transformer action figures that you have, and the love of the gaming world, and the we touched on that. We've touched on everything basically. Um, uh, the I mean, do you think? Yeah. I was thinking of some questions here. Anyway, I'm going to hunt for. It'll mull around my head, Andrew, and I'll get a question out. If you want to ask Andrew any questions, go for it. You can do if you're listening in the chat. Thank you for listening in the chat. Do you think? Do you think it'll evolve again? Do you think the action figures will evolve again for the movies that we see?
They probably will evolve again to get so that way they're not like the same figure all over again.
Do you think that is there too many Transformer figures that are the same, and like repaints?
They do a bunch of repaints, like the Studio Series Lockdown mold that's been repainted into like his the drones and stuff. Sometimes, yeah, there's too many repaints of a character, but
Right.
sometimes there's remolds of the character into a new character.
Does that really matter with Transformers? It's not so much like Hasbro's with their repaints. Is it a big issue with that kind of sense?
Yes, sometimes because with the remolds, and then because since the figure's been out for like years, then you're gonna keep using that mold, and then the new figure will have loose joints because it's been used so many times. Right out of the box, I'll have loose joints since the mold's been used many times.
Okay, so it is the same as the Black Series with the same molds, but
because once they use them a bunch of times, then that new mold will start having looser joints.
Okay, well, I did not know that. I thought that would have been a lot different than the Black Series or maybe even Marvel Legends, and I suppose it has the same old problem, isn't it? Really, that there's the same molds, same repaints, but same action figure, right? So
yeah.
Okay, so you could not to bag Hasbro, because it's sometimes a good monotony to have the same molds, because we get different sides of action figures, right? So
Yeah.
that's a big bonus, I suppose. But having that new, I mean, do you always do you still get excited for having a new figure in your hand and unbox it?
Yes. Because like it could be a character that we haven't gotten in a while from Hasbro. Because there's still a bunch of characters they really haven't done.
That gorilla, that silverback gorilla for the Beast Wars, has that been made?
Apeling, well, there's Apeling and there's Primal, because we got Primal in the Kingdom series, and
Yeah.
we got them in the original days, and now we're getting them we got the mainline version, and now we're getting the Studio Series version.
Okay.
But the Apeling, because there's like one trailer in the like teaser trailer where you see like there's a silver gorilla where he has like arm blades on the side. We haven't got him in a while, so we could get a new version of him.
Primal, isn't it? Primal, is it?
Yes, Primal.
Is it his brother? Because it's Optimus Prime.
No, we're not sure from the movies yet.
Okay.
They could have changed it up from the movies. from the
Right.
original stuff.
Be interesting to actually interesting to see where they're going to go with that, right?
Yeah.
So if he's going to be a relation to Optimus Prime, to being primal, so do you think they'll just continue the series on with the Beast Wars and Optimus Prime, and do you think they'll continue with that?
We'll see, because they did say if the movie does really good, then it would be a trilogy. So
Oh,
if
okay.
it doesn't do good, then it won't be a trilogy.
Okay, right. So it looks really good, though, right?
It does look really good.
The, I think going back to the Haley Steinfeld Bumblebee movie, I think that's what they wanted, to have that kind of storyline, to have that kind of feel to it. So
Yeah.
the
But like the character, like you could,
Mm.
it's much more personality than the Bayverse ones.
So I think it's got a lot more heart to it as well.
Yeah, but I did hear like the Rise of Beasts is kind of a mix of the Bayverse and the Bumblebee movie.
Right.
It's the personality, like you see Bumblebee have with Charlie, with Haley Steinfeld's character, because it's still gonna have action. So
Yeah.
it will have action, but then it will actually like give the character's personality, like what the Bumblebee movie did.
Yeah. I mean, uh, uh, yeah, I've seen the trailer for the Beast Wars thing. It's got a little bit of some sadness into it, isn't it? So
Yeah.
being Bumblebee wise, but I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. Check it out if you haven't seen the Beast Wars Transformer movie, whatever it was called. Go and see it. It's on YouTube at the moment, I think. Yeah. So, okay. So, do you enjoy your channel?
Yes, I do.
Right. What do you get out of it? I mean, we'll probably discuss this to death on this interview, but what do you get out of it? What is the crux of it? What do you get out of your channel?
Well, it gives people like entertainment. If they have nothing to do, it gives them entertainment for however long they watch the video. It's something different that they probably haven't seen before. And then I can also like interact with those people who watch the video in the comment section.
I mean, to have a channel like yours streaming and going through the history of it, it's pretty good, pretty cool to have, right? So
Yeah.
to have, I mean, I think I chimed in a wee bit to when you were discussing things with Rum and Slash's Rum on
Yeah.
Transformers, uh, and giving those questions answers, right, to some of the channels that collect but don't know really what's about. So that's their enjoyment. It's the enjoyment. Do you get enjoyment of actually meeting people as well on your channel? I mean, I know you've had a little bit of trouble with links.
Sapphire Elf or
Huh?
Sapphire Elf, you mean, or Lack?
No. With the unwanted people on
Yeah.
your channel that you've had trouble with posting your the link up on your channel and having the people that you didn't want. And you're not getting that now, are you?
No, yeah, I get what you mean.
Do you get what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm not getting it now.
Yeah. So that was a bit of a concern for the community. So having your show disrupted so unwantedly by two people that you know.
We did work that issue out eventually.
Yeah. So, uh, how did you feel back then when that was happening? Can I ask that question?
Yeah, that's fine, because like I did mention to the person, like I couldn't really talk because they were just kept talking over me.
yeah, it's good that you it's good that you actually asked for help with the community to actually get this resolved. And so
Yeah,
that's the big thing, because the community is I love this community, right? So because it's we're here for each other.
yeah, we
So
are.
um, and that's the main thing, of course, with your channel as well. I mean, we're all here for you, and we're all here for each other and stuff like that. So uh, okay, it's struck an hour. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to put this up by later. So thank you, Andrew, for joining me on the P.G.M Show.
Yeah,
Um,
anytime.
and if you haven't subscribed, if you are watching this on the replay, and please do watch this on the replay, please hit that like here, but also go and subscribe to Ultimate Wolf. He does reviews streaming wise on his channel Transformers, all shapes and sizes. He does the history of the Transformers. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
And he gives you an advice as well. I've seen Salacious Rum on his channel. He has guests on his show as well, and he has games, of course, with The Last of Us. He's just played, and he's that streaming. I've got to say, Andrew, you stream a lot. You stream for hours upon hours upon
Yeah, if I'm
hours.
free, I'll just stream hours on hours.
I mean, you could have an underline in brackets. I'm here for hours and hours and hours, because he is. He plays from Last of Us to now he's on Jedi Fallen Order before he goes to
Jedi
Jedi
Survivor.
Survivor. He talks to friends like Lack and myself on streaming, also Sin as well. So he's very inviting in that. So please subscribe to Ultimate Wolf. That's what I'm trying to say. The link is right there. I'm gonna say thank you very much, Andrew. I'll see you in the green room. I'm gonna pop you back in the green room.
All right.
And I'll see you backstage. Anyway, from me, Peter Gordon McKinnon, I'm gonna actually just do a couple of shameless promos again before we go out. So. And enjoy the two comics. No liver on top of your and listen to the and myself, the P.G.M, on the two comics. Come gather around in the chat. Enjoy. Let's see. Nerd Talk with JJ and P.G.M. Thanks. It's a short promo. But I just like again to thank Andrew for coming on, and so yes, thank you for coming on. Thank you very much. Again, check out Ultimate Wolf with Andrew, doing Transformer stuff and everything else. So I'll put you on the green room. I'll be right back with you, Andrew.
All right.
Anyway, absolutely fantastic to have Andrew on the P.G.M Show. Of course, you can check him out, yeah, you can check me out tomorrow with Salacious Rum and myself on the two Pommies. Also, I've got a load more stuff on my channel coming up, and there'll be reviews and everything else like that, of course. And when I get round to it, anyway, it's been a pleasure. Of course, I gotta say, really short promo with JJ and I with the monthly stuff, the talk show. It's been good to have you. Thank you very much, Orlando, for popping in. And I'm going to leave up that link where I go. And thank you very much to Gap for coming in, jumping in. And please take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And goodbye for now. Goodbye.